So welcome back to Learning Partner. So in this video, we are going to see PrimeNg, like how do we use PrimeNg in our Angular app? What is the use of going for the PrimeNg library? What components they have? How do we use each component? What some of the components we will at least try to install and use those, correct? So when we talk about Angular, we have, let's say, PrimeNg is the mostly used. Then we have AgGrid also, which is dedicated for the table only. Material is also there. Then NX is also there. Again, I think Sync Fusion is also there. So many other libraries are there which has so many components which we can use in our Angular app. Why do we need this kind of component? As in, let's say, talk about the calendar. So here you can see this is the calendar UI they provide. But if you use input type text, we get the basic calendar which is provided by the browser, correct? Then so many graphs are also there, mostly tables. So let's go to their components, get started. Table is the most thing what we use. So in data, you will see the table. So let's say we have a table and we want to add a filtration, pagination, searching, sorting, everything. So how much code we have to do? If we have to do that by custom code, so much of code we have to do. But rather than doing all those kind of code, if we still able to manage that code, still there will be so many scenarios left which might break. But if we use their table, so let's start from that. So first paginator. So see, we get the pagination like this. Number of records also we can select. Then if we have to add a sorting, so you can see sorting also we can add. Then filter, a single text box will be there, and on the table columns also we can get the filters, row selection, single selection, multi selection, whatnot. So many things are there, correct? Expandable row. Let me show you the expandable also. This is how you can expand. So many things are there which you can easily implement if you use the library. If you implement the same thing, if you try to write the custom code and implement all these things, it will take so many days to achieve this. But if you just install the PrimeNg, you can use their components. So when we talk about PrimeNg, there is a free version also and there is a paid version also, premium template, correct? But most of the things which we need are free only, so we can use it. Now, first is like, how do we install it and how do we use it? So you just have to go to the getting started and installation. So this is the command, how do we install it? So again, there are so many versions, just like Angular is releasing versions by versions. So just like that, PrimeNg team is also keeping up with them. Correct. Now, what I have done is like basic Angular 17 point. In my system, I have 17.3. So you can just create a project by ng new and the project name. So you will get this default project created. So it has a 17.3 version. And if we see the SRC folder, we don't have app module because in the latest architecture of the Angular 17, we don't have app module. It is an app config now. Now, in this project, I need to install my PrimeNg. So what I will do, I need to copy this command, npm install PrimeNg. I need to open a new terminal. So on click of plus, new terminal will open. Over here, we just need to paste this command and enter. So what it will does, it will install the PrimeNg in our Angular system. And once it is installed now, it will add an entry over here also. Just make sure you pay attention over here in the dependencies. PrimeNg library, along with whatever the version we have installed, that will be added over here. So see, PrimeNg entry has been added and the latest version 17.15.0, which is added. So first thing, when we have to use PrimeNg, we have to install that. Once you install, second thing is like, if you go to the documentation also, you need to add this kind of thing in the style section in Angular.com. Whenever we use any library now, their website will be well documented. How to use it, what are the parameter, what are the output, input, so many things. They will provide very properly. So these two links, we need to add it into our angular.json. So let's open it. Here you can see style section is there. So here you need to add it. Once you make any changes to the angular.json, make sure you are running your application again. So this was already running, so I'm stopping it and I'm running it again. So we have installed the PrimeNg. We have added the links of that in angular.json. 2 steps we have done. Now let's close it. Work is done. Now let me just create a folder over here. Sorry. Let's create a folder to store the components. We will try to use some of the components from PrimeNg. Let me create a user component. Ng generate component user. So it's an Angular 17 by default. If you create any component, it is standalone, so it won't be added it anywhere. So you can see only 4 files has been created. Let's create another component. Let's make it add user, enter. So in component folder, we have created 2 folders. Let's create the routes also. So app route.ts is there. Path, sorry. Let's say user list component, but still it is loading. User component, this is the first route. Then second again path, new user component. What is the component name we have given? Add user. Yeah. So add user. So we have created 2 routes. Let's go over here. This is what the default code we get. Let's get rid of that. One thing I will need Bootstrap also, or rather than Bootstrap, let's try to use their navbar. So do they have the navbar or not? Let's check it. They should have a navbar menu. Let's check what is their menu bar. This is like this. Menu. Let's try to use the menu bar. So see, now instead of using Bootstrap navbar, we are trying to use the navbar what they have provided. So if we go to menu bar, what they are saying, if you need to use the menu bar, you need to import this module. So let's copy this. Now in which component we are going to add the menu bar? So in app component. So in app component.ts. So since we don't have app module, so if you are working on the older version now, make sure you adding that in the app module. So here we need to add it. So menu bar model, and in the import section, you need to add it. Correct? So first thing, whatever the component you are going to use, you need to import that module. So we are using menu bar. So menu bar import module we have added. Then how we have to use it? Everything will be provided over here. So see, you can see the whole code also, toggle full code. This is HTML code. So let's copy it. We don't need the card. So, or let's use the card also. Let's see how does it look. Now in HTML, I will put it. And now here it needs the variable. So they will provide the variable also. So here, this is HTML. Let's move on to this. So here you can see item they have created. Let's copy in our .ts. Let's create the variable menu item. So from where they have taken it? So from Prime API. So let's import this also. Now what they have done on implement on init, they have added the menus also. So on init, implement on init. Just like that, I'm not doing anything. Whatever they have done, just like that, I'm following, so that you will also understand. You don't have to do anything, or you won't face any error if you follow the steps what they have provided. Now in ng on init, they have just provided the values. So let's copy. Let's paste it over here. That's it. So let's try to save all. Our application is running. So let's open localhost 4200. Property that title does not exist. Yeah, so error is gone. So here you can see by just using that, we are getting the main, correct? So whatever we have seen over here, same output we are getting. We have just followed the steps what they have provided. Now let's change the menu a little bit. So let's say first menu will be, let's say, here we don't need, let me just see if we have the normal menu where we don't need the sub items. It is there. How you will redirect? Oh, we selected that, but how we don't have router link, right? Let's check. We selected a different something which doesn't provide. This menu is not actually suitable for navbar kind of thing. Where do we have it? Anything? Because they have this also we cannot use. Okay, let it be. So first component we have tried to show the menus like this. Okay, just the component we have tried. Now let's just get rid of this. Now we have created two routes. Now first let's navigate to the user. So slash user list. Okay, so this won't be opening because we have to add the router outlet. So let's add a router outlet over here. Now here you can see user work is coming. So now in user list, first we will start with the basic. So let's see, you know the normal drop down, correct? So this is the drop down. So by using our normal select, we can create a drop down. So this is the normal drop down, correct? This will look like same what we used to create. But can we add a filter in our drop down? Or can we make this editable also? See, after selecting, I'm able to edit this also. We can group this also. In Germany, these are the city. In USA, these are the city. Again, you can provide your custom template also, image plus text, then filter. Here you can see it is allowing us to filter also. So let's try to use this. How do we use that? So first thing, whenever you open any component, now at the top they will provide the import, like what import you need to use. So I will just copy this import. Now let's move back to add user. So here first we will add the import, and this will go into our import section. Now let's just create a small form. All three. Here I will say, okay, we didn't install the bootstrap. Hmm. PrimeNg also they will have grid. Let's try to use their grid panel. Let's search it. Grid. How do they create? I'm also not sure like they have the grid or not. Let it be. Let's create a normal table. PR, TD, and I will just add a style, 100% width. Now in first TD, what we are going to do is we have to use the drop down. Okay. So where it was drop down, and drop down should be searchable. So let's go over here. Custom filter. We need the basic one now. Yeah. So let's start with the basic. So after importing the module, next thing, this is their selector. Now, when we talk about Angular component, these are nothing but the reusable component. How we create the reusable component by using input and output, just like that, they have created their own, but they have put that into the library, and you are using their component. So whatever, just like how you use the selector, just like that, their selector will be there. For dropdown, they will have P dropdown. When we create our component, we will start a name with app component, just like that. Correct? So we don't need ng model for now. So let's get rid of that. Now options. So this is their reusable component, and this reusable component has a input, that is option. And option we need to pass an array. So let's see how they have passed the array. Toggle code. Let's go to .ts. So here you can see they have created a variable, and interface also is created. So let's just copy cities. They have created an interface. So let's use that. Then in the constructor, we will initialize the values, or same value we can pass it while initialization only. So equal to this. Okay, so while initializing variable only, we are providing the value. Let's format it back. So we have created an array with some data type interface and we have stored some value. And this array we have passed over here as a options, like what options I need to see in my dropdown. So let's just save and let's go back to our second route. That is new user. Correct. So now here you can see, now you will face an error. So see, it is not opening. So we might have an error. So let's check what is the error. So here you can see it is saying like browser animation is not present. So once we click on it now, some animation happen and then that div get displayed. So now this should be there to use the animation. So let's go to our component and here let's add a browser animation. Let's copy. Let's paste it over here. Why I'm not able to copy? We need to put it over here. Now we need the import also. So let's see if it is suggesting. It's not suggesting. Let me just find it out from where we get it. Everything is there in the Google. You just have to ask for it. You don't need to check YouTube videos or anything. Everything is there. You just Google it. You will find it. Correct. Now let's save and let's check it again. Now we should be able to open the dropdown. Slash new user. No, it's not opening. Let's check if we have any more error. Provide browser module have been loaded. If you need custom directive, providers, browser module. Why it needs common module? Let's try common module adding. Save. Still we have some error. Let's check what is the error now. It's saying providers from browser module have already been loaded. If you need a custom directory, import this. Why it is saying like this? So after adding animation, it started that error. So what is the way how we can override this browser animation module we have added? Let's search it properly, what it was saying. Let's try to remove it, then we will get to know what is the error and we will try to search the same. So it is saying, please make sure I have the browser on. Let's try to Google this with Angular 17, okay? So previously we used to do like this, but now what is the problem over here? Browser animation model only. This animation model we are passing it over here. But again, it is suggesting some error. Let me just search it rather than wasting. So I got the problem. What I searched, Angular 17 PrimeNg and browser animation. Same thing what I have searched. What was the issue? So in the GitHub, we have got it. So he had said like in app config, we need to add this. So now in app config, I have added this in provider section and in add user component, we don't need this. Let's try to save all. It should work properly now. What it is saying, add user component by number 3. So now you can see drop down that animation is working and we are able to select the proper thing. Correct. Now let's see like what else we can do with the drop down. So first, like we need to filter it out. So just like with any reusable component, what we create, what we do, we pass the values, correct? So here, you can see filter properties there, which you can pass to the component, filter true. So now we will get the filter. Where it is saying line number 3. Let's see, what is this? Okay, this was missing. Let's close it. Now you can see we are getting the filter. Let's try to filter it out. We had, okay. Yeah, so here you can see we are able to filter it out, correct? So this filter will be will come handy when you have so many records that is going to be displayed in your dropdown, right? So filter comes very handy. Let's see what else is there. Disabled is also there. Let's check what is the disabled. Oh, okay, we can just disable it. Okay. Now here, like let's say when we create a normal dropdown in when we use the for loop on the option, in the value we pass the value, and inside between the option we show the text, whatever the text we need to display. So same thing when we bind the ng model. So here you can see it's an array of object. Let's say selected city colon string. Initialize with empty, and this SE, and this we have to bind to our dropdown. So let's import the forms model also. Now this I will bind it over here. Square bracket, round bracket, ng model. Now this dropdown has I have passed an array of object, but I need the code, selected code while displaying. So here you can see we have provided the option label as name. So that's why you are able to see the names when in the browser. You can see only names are visible. The code is not visible. So just like option label, we have option value also. And here you need to pass the key. So key is nothing but code. Code I'm passing, and this variable I will print it inside TD. So let's save this also. Now whatever the value is selected, that code we will get it into that ng model. So London. So here you can see LDN we have got room. See, whatever the option we are selecting, that value we are getting. Just like how we used to do with the normal option. Because here we don't have the control over the option. No? So from your array of object, you need to specify what is the value and what is the text. So just like these properties are there. Again, now in each component, you get to see like what number of inputs you have, what number of outputs you have. So here you can see what is this keyboard support. At the top, there will be, they have not provided it over here. Yeah, in the API. So in the API, you can see these are the properties they have. Whatever the properties, nothing but inputs. Then we will get some output also, that is event emitter. So on change, on filter, on drop down change, we can implement the event just like that. So many things are there which you can use. So if you want to check like what properties or what events are there in a particular component, you just have to go to this API and you need to search it. So just like dropdown, we have so many components which we can use. So let's see what we can see is editor. Okay. So editor is something like rich text editor. You might have used or not, I'm not sure, but this is something, let's say there are so many application areas or scenarios where we need to provide the HTML. So here you can say, let's say this is bold. I can bold this like this. If I need ULLI items, let's say Pune, Mumbai, Thane, and you can select it like this, and you can make it like this, correct? So there are so many things. So, but just remember, as I said, like this is very well documented. So first thing, like you need to import this, but to enable this editor, you need another library that is Quill. So you need to install that also, just for this specific. Then let's see what else we can try. list box. So here you can see, we can select like this, multiple. Do we have multiple or not? Let's see. This is just like a drop down, but not, it will take a particular width, and here you can see multiple options also you can select like this. So this is the list box. Whatever the controls we know, text box, button, everything they have also. So let me just show you. Checkbox is also there. So see, but for checkbox also again you need to import. So this is their checkbox, multiple checkbox. You can do like this. Dynamic checkbox also you can create just a for loop, and inside that you can post. Then we have masking is there. So, like just like a placeholder we can provide like this. This is called a masking, providing, enforcing user to provide the data in this particular format only, just like that. Input text box is also there, just a normal text box, but some extra things are there. We don't normally use text box, but I'm just explaining like, so everything is there. Now let's come to our table. This is the most important one. So if we have to use the table, this is the basic table. What you need to do, you need to import it. So let's go to user list, user component. So first here we will put our selector, sorry, import statement. Import statement has been added. Now let's check their code. So you can, here you can see just like the table. Just like our normal table, we have P table over here. So let's just copy it. Let's paste it over here. And let's see the TS code as well. Toggle full code and TS. So here they are trying to read the data from the, what we can say, one API, just a normal service. And in that service, they have stored it. So instead of that, let's try to make the user service. So we have to make the API call. So again, to make the API call, you need the HTTP client module, right? So HTTP client module I'm adding, constructor. Let's create object of HTTP client. So private HTTP client. Let's create a function get users. We will use the JSON placeholder API. Let's get that URL. So this is the API which gives us the list of some records. So let's put it over here. So this dot HTTP dot get method is there, and you need to pass the URL. Whatever the response you get from it, you need to subscribe to that, and you will store that into a variable. Let's create a variable user list any array empty. Whatever the response we get, that we will store into this variable res, and this function we will call it on the page load. Just for now I'm just calling it in the constructor, but you should implement ng on in it, and there you should call the API. So this we have done. Now this variable, array variable, we have to pass it over here to the value type. Now let's check what things are there. Name, let's get the name, username. So from API we are getting so many fields, but we can limit that also, like some normal field we can show. Email address, then phone number we can show. So just 4 field. Now here also you just need to bind the same thing, whatever you know, object properties name, email and phone. Let's make it capital one, username, email and phone. So now if we save it, we should be able to see their table. Just the basic one. We will again modify it. User list. Let's enter. So here you can see we have got the data. This is just the basic table implementation. Now let's try to implement the pagination. So paginator. So to add the pagination, what things we have to do? So see, first paginator tool, how many rows default we have to do? Let's copy everything and put it over here on the table selector. Let's save it. Wait, something is missing. What else is remaining? Let's see. Yeah, now it worked. Not sure why. Previously didn't work. So see, we from that API we just get the 10 records. So it has by default we said 5 records. So that's why only 5 is visible, and we just got the 2 pagination. See, we are able to do this. If we select 10, we will able to see all the records. Correct? So let's say you need 5, 10, 20, 50, 100, like that also you can add. So here you can see in the drop down, you will get to see all the options, whatever you add over there. Pagination we have done. Then let's say we need to add the sorting. So let's go to sort. What is how we are adding sorting? So this template you need. Sorry, template not, just this. Let me just copy whole thing. Let's copy. Let's paste it over here. And now here you can see what changes you need to do. This is like name. Let me just change it again. User name. So if we click on the name column, with which field you need to sort. So this field name you need to pass it over here. Now let's just save it and check it if we are able to sort with name and username. So here you can see we are able to filter it out. Correct? So this is how you use it. Everything is provided over there. Let's try the last one, that is filter. So what we need to do to enable the filter? So here you can see, first you need to add this hash value. So let's add this hash value. Then we need to provide the global filter also. So here you can see global filter is there. Means your array of object you know, na, but out of that, with which field you need to filter. So we have name, then username, then email is also there. What number of column you are displaying, with that you can filter it out. So just the field name you need to pass it over here. Then you need the search box also. Let me just get the search box. So after that you need this ng template. Let's copy it. Let's paste it before this. Why it is saying value, possibly null check, it is asking. Target, square bracket, single quote. Still it is giving error. Property value does not exist on event target. Why? Question mark dot. Still it is giving error. Value does not exist on type event target. How it is working over here then? Let's see something else. Event dot target dot value. Value does not exist on event dot target, but from where it is suggesting like this is event dot target? Let's pass the event dot target, and but this is a normal function. We have to pass the ID event dot target. Target value. Still it is giving error. How do we pass that now then? Let's save and check if we are able to run. Clear. Let's remove that. Object is possibly null. What is the error? We don't have any error, but we missed something, I think. Let's see whole thing again. Set this data key, landing, paginator, and action. That's it. Why this is not visible? Do we have to pass it somewhere? Caption or p template? We don't have to pass it over anywhere. But why it is not visible? Let's try to inspect. So only T head is there, but this is not available. What else we have to do? Let me just search it properly. Yeah, so I have just Googled something. So what I have got, like it was showing the error, right? So the solution was providing the data type as any, because in event.target they might have removed it. So we have provided like this is any. So now we can read it properly. So now if we filter it out, let's say DI, if we said, so see it is filtering, let's say cam. So wherever cam v is there, or let's say dot biz. So see, all the object it is now filtering. So this is how you use the table also. So again, like some normal things, just I faced like in front of you, what are the problem I face. You will also face, you just need to Google it out. Someone might have faced that issue and you will get the solution. So many things are there. You can use confirmation box. Let me show you the confirmation box. Confirm pop-up like this. Yes, no. Confirmation dialog box is also there like this. When we click on delete, we need to show the confirmation box. So this is also you can use. Correct? Tooltip, file upload. So we normally use input type file upload. Instead of that, you get this. This is nothing but behind it is input type file only. You can choose multiple files. Breadcrumb, context menu is also there. Like this. See, this is custom context menu. Chart.js. So many libraries, chart.js is already there. It's a separate library, but you can use it like this. With PrimeNg, you can use it. Line graph, pie chart graph. So many things are there. Carousel is also there. Drag and drop is also there. See, I'm able to drag and drop. So you just have to decide which component you need to use. You need to import that, see what inputs and how HTML you need to write. Just write like that, and you can use all the components from PrimeNg. So I hope this video was helpful to you. With this, you will be able to use PrimeNg in your Angular project. So make sure you are implementing it. If you are preparing for the interview, these are some of the companies might ask to install the PrimeNg or AG grade or even SyncFusion also, or material. Any of the library they want you to check, like, do you know like how to use the external libraries or not? So for that only they will give the machine test like this. So that's it with the current video. We'll connect again.